Hey everybody, another weekly planning session. So I'll quickly recap what happened or what I did last week poker wise. I got in 25 hours of play. My goal was 30, but I did reach my hand target. So because I was playing more tables, I bumped it up from 6 tables to 8 tables of 6 max. Um, I might be like a little bit flat right now. I'm sorry. I'm like really tired. It's 2 a.m. and I've played about 9 hours today and trained Taekwondo. So mentally, I'm freaking exhausted. Um, so I got a couple of mental math workouts in, or I got the mental math workout in and an equity trainer workout in. I worked on the training group a little bit. Um, I got 2.5 coaching sessions done. The half is because I'm experimenting with this new method with one of my students who's having a little bit of problem with tilt control. So we're doing kind of like basically he's watching some Tommy Angelo videos and giving me his thoughts, and I'm kind of replying with how well I think he's interpreting the information, and you know elaborating further and coming up with specific things that he can do. Um, and I think that's a pretty cool method. And I also decided this week that I'm also going to be adding a couple other types of coaching sessions to my repertoire. One is going to be one that I learned from my coach, or that he used for me, was where he sends me, or where I send him a video of just my play, and then my play with my commentary, kind of explaining my thought processes, and then he responds, with notes. Now I probably won't write out notes, but probably what I'll do is um, just basically record video, like myself responding to, and then like also record whatever numerical analysis I do. Um, yeah, so a couple cool things that I did this week. And also, I did a little research on poker theory, on finding break-even folding frequencies and double barreling situations. I'm essentially trying to build a calculator where, if you have a minus EV flop bet in a vacuum, how often your opponent needs to fold on the turn in able to make that flop bet plus CV. So I made a post in the Poker Theory forums on 2+2, and I got some responses, and I've just been a little bit too busy to really read through them and build the calculator and understand it. But it's going to be a super powerful tool, especially for heads-up players, 6-max players as well, and it's going to be usable in all sorts of different situations. So it's going to be built specifically for double barreling and heads-up spots, but you could use it for 3-betting pre and c-betting flop, so it's going to be pretty cool. So that's that, and I'll show you guys what my schedule looks like for this week. So, using my planning template that I've developed, you can see here that I have about 49.5 hours available this week for poker. I had to cut out a couple of things that I wanted to do this week in my personal life. I was going to go on a rock climbing trip on Saturday, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to go because I've just got too much stuff going on, and I also wanted to start training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu this week, but once again I just have a little bit too much going on. So yeah, that's about that. And so the things I want to get done this week are 26 hours of play, so I can keep up with my hand target. It's going to be pretty important that I keep up with that because next week I'm going to be out of town for 2 days. Coaching sessions, I'm going to do 2.5. I've got one scheduled. I'm going to do another response to a student via video, and then I've got room for one more. So if you guys are students and you're looking to book a session, I would suggest doing it soon because I'm going to cap it at this amount. Studying, so my time spent studying is just going to be getting coached. I've got a coaching session with my coach tomorrow, and that should take about 2 hours, and then do the mental math workout and equity trainer workout. I'm going to be working on the HUD video. So if you guys have heard, been following my blog, you'll be aware that I'm going to be making a 6-max video series to help basically helps Six Mix regs be able to find leaks in their opponent's games. And so the first thing that, and the thing that the whole thing is based around is my HUD. So I'm just going to be going over the HUD, how to use it, what the numbers mean, and then a couple of numbers to remember. So it's going to take about 2 hours. This is a video that will not be posted on my blog. The reason for this is because I think the information is just way too valuable. I'll be also giving, the people that purchase this video will also receive my HUD, and I think it's just a really powerful tool. Basically, I've put a lot of time into my HUD. I mean, anyone can build a HUD themselves, and I would suggest learning how to do it because it's great. But if you don't feel like doing it, then this buying my HUD and buying the video on the information, is probably going to be super useful. I haven't decided the pricing yet, but I'll probably release something or make a blog post about it when it's done. Students will be getting it at a very significant discount. Current students will be getting it free, but past students will be getting it at a significant discount. So if you guys are interested, fill out the contact me form and let me know. So yeah, that's that. And then the training group posting. I'm just gotta send out the emails now to everybody setting up the training group, and you can see here what my schedule looks like. Just a lot of responding to emails and coaching and playing and just everything poker related. So yeah, that's that, and I'll wrap it up. So that's about it, and I guess I'll ramble for a few more minutes about the different, stuff that's going on. So playing a lot, playing a lot more than I have in the past. I think in my last video I talked about how, playing more volume than I have in the past is, I've had a little bit more tilt because I've been forcing myself to play through something, play through and get the volume in, which in many ways has been really good. And I feel like my play has been, overall, been very solid. I've been adjusting to my opponents pretty well, I feel like. There's definitely some room for improvement. There always is. Today I was being sweat, and there were a couple spots where I realized that I should be making some folds on the river, and maybe some folds in different situations where I'm getting a little bit too... I'm kind of drawing a line in the sand on absolute hand strength, which I think there's some merit to, but the couple situations I'm looking at actually are ones where one particular situation was a flush on a non-paired board, where based on like my years at Heads Up, I would basically never fold in that situation normally, but in a six-max table against really tight players with really polarized ranges, and really really skewed towards the nuts, I can make folds. So a couple things I'm learning there. I also there's been one regular that I've been having a tough time with. Not afraid to admit that. You guys shouldn't be afraid to admit it either. Sometimes there's someone who just gives you fits. He's got your number, and I don't mean just running good. Sometimes people run good versus you, but sometimes people genuinely are better than you. Or maybe their style just works better than you. Like, there's a lot of regulars out there who their style may not be that profitable overall, but their style versus my style works great. And this particular player, Trey Deuce 88, has been giving me a fair amount of trouble. I don't know if it's because he's out-leveling me, or if I'm going... they say you should always be one level up over your opponent, so you can know where their level is and you can adjust accordingly. So it's either that he's either one level up on me, or I'm 2 levels above him, and it's really hard to know. There was one particular pot. It was ended up being like a 300 big blind pot where I took a really weird line. it was a spot where I three bet pre-flop. I think it was his middle position open or cutoff open, and I three bet on the button, and he flatted. I had ace deuce suited, and flop was like jack 5-5, and I see bet pretty standard kind of. He was full into c bets a decent amount, and he check raised me min, and I expected him to be three betting or four betting jacks there a lot based on how frequently I was three betting, and even if he did have jacks, I expected him to check call a lot. So I was a little bit surprised that he check raised me, and I decided to make a small three bet because I thought that basically he was gonna be full of shit a lot of the time there. So he clicked it back again. So he four bet the flop, and then I was like, it really looked like he had a strong hand, but at the same time, he should know that it looks like he has a strong hand. So I decided that, there's a possibility that if I call here, if I flat, that he's probably going to put me on like a ridiculously strong range, and he's going to shut down bluffing, basically. So, and I only had to call about like 45 more into a pot of like 250 or something. So I was getting pretty good pot odds. So I decided to flat, and then the turn came, like the 10 of spades, which gave me a flush draw, and he checked, and the pot was, around 300 or something, and I jammed my last, like, 125 in there, and he snap called with ace jack, and so I'm really kind of interested. I'm not sure if he thought if he was just, basically, like, I got top pair, like, da-da-da, like, I'm just gonna, he was just kind of clicking buttons. Or what I think is more likely is that he check raised that dry board trying to rep nothing, and knowing that I'm the type of player that's gonna play back at someone who's repping nothing, because I can be a little bit spazzy. And then, knew that it was gonna be plus EV. But yeah, so I don't know. I think the second one is more likely. I would like to think that he's probably a decent player, and he's been giving me a little bit of trouble, which is good because, not to sound too arrogant, but at 200-0, I have not been having that much trouble with anybody. Post flop, pre flop, basically everyone is. I can figure out their game, but he's tough, and it doesn't help that he tries to actively sit on my left a lot, which makes it a lot tougher because then I can't, three bet the crap out of the short stackers who are folding too much because he's cold four betting me like a ridiculous amount. So he's the first player since Stars, since when I was playing on Stars, since like Pobolero and like King 10 clubs, like a couple of very successful mid-stake players, like PTRs of 500,000 or more. He's the first player since then that's forced me to actually seat select a little bit, and today I actively had to get out of his way and switch tables, and it was nice because I just slowly moved out of the tables that he was on my left, and moved to tables where I was on his left, and then I started abusing him. So I feel like I can probably deal with him. If all things are equal and we both have position on each other equally, then I think I have a pretty good chance. But if he's got position on me, I'm basically, it's just position is too powerful. Today when he was sitting on 5 of my 8 tables directly on my left, which I think is no accident, I thought, fuck it, like, this guy, like, no one is giving me enough trouble where, like, I have to worry about it. So what, he's on my left, I can just, like, start 4-bet bluffing a lot, and, like, start donking and check raising a bunch of flops, and da-da-da. I usually do my usual adjustments, but he just really adjusts really well, and he seems to be one level above and be playing position pretty well. So I decided, like, I'm going to have to have a little bit of humility here, and I'm going to have to try and get position on him. So that's that, and other than that, nothing really that crazy. So I guess I'll call it a day. So I'll see you guys later, and have a good week. Work hard, and have fun. Alright, bye.